Welcome back, everybody, at Sport Federation TV. We keep talking about sport in the Western Cape. It's nice to have you along. And, of course, we trust that you are staying safe out there as we do our very best to keep you connected to the world of sport. Even though it's difficult out there at the moment, the sports administrators themselves are busy doing a fantastic job to keep their athletes connected and, of course, with a lot of the future plans with what is coming up in the future. And to talk to us more about a little bit about current activities in the world of tug of war and some of the future plans, we've managed to get him back on the line now. We call him the patron for tug of war of Western Cape, Anton Botha. Anton, welcome back to Sport Federation TV. How are things there with you?
JP, thank you. All good. Doing well.
Anton, yes. So it's been a few weeks since we spoke to you last. When I sent you the message to find out how things are going in the world of tug of war, I got a whole string of activity. So let's start at the beginning. The first thing that you said to me was regional club championships, and that was, of course, a while back.
Yes, a couple of weeks back we had the regional club championships. We have the regionals south, which is mostly all those clubs towards the south of the country, and on the same day we had the regionals north, all those teams to the north of the country. So the southern club championships we held at Malmesbury about 3 weeks ago.
And from there, though, of course, now that you've had the north and south and these regional structures, you move now towards the national training squad scenario.
That is correct. Yeah, normally we select the national training squads after the national club championships, but due to COVID, we were forced to utilize the regional club champs as a baseline, as well as the test camps, and then based on that, we selected the different team squads, and from those team squads, the final teams will be selected. So they are now going through a phase of test camps and training camps for the world champs, of course.
So there's a world champs coming up now. That's, of course, in Spain, right, Anton?
That is correct, yeah. Mid-September in Spain.
So, Anton, how many teams are we talking about here? And again, maybe for the viewers, for the sake of understanding how tug of war works, how many different teams and how many athletes in a team? Yeah.
We have our world championships. Unlike rugby and some of the bigger sports, we have one location where we bring together our under-19 teams, our under-23 teams, as well as our senior teams. And that includes, of course, ladies, men, and the so-called co-ed or mixed teams, 4 men, 4 ladies. There is 8 people to a team. And in the different age categories, they participate, of course, in different weight categories as well.
How much training do these guys have to put in? I mean, you say that they're going into training camps now, and of course, we know that at a club level, there's a lot of training, and then you head up to I mean, this really has become a high-performance activity now.
Hectic. I always say we train similar. I did triathlete. I was a triathlete quite a while back, and the training is very similar. It's a combination of stamina, it's strength training. These guys and girls train about at least twice a week in the gym, and then leading up to the competition, four times a week, plus on Saturdays they have training camps. So it's pretty much at least 5 times a week. Well, with the gymming 6 to 7 every day, basically, just like a professional athlete.
Anton, so the other thing, of course, that we've been meaning to speak to you about is that you've been very successful in bidding for an international event here in South Africa.
Yes, we are very, very happy to announce that we got the 2026 World Championships, and this year we will take it a little bit up the coast. We are in fact going to Hartenbos, Mossel Bay, to that area.
Is that a big deal? We know that you hosted the World Championships here in Cape Town, I think now 2.5 years ago. Is that a big thing?
2018,
yeah.
That is correct. We hosted the World Championships here in Cape Town. They evaluate these World Championships, and I'm lucky to report that South Africa got the highest ever evaluation for the World Championships in the world ever. And I think it's also based on that good score, good evaluation, that we can get another World Championships in a shorter time span as 8 years.
What are the kind of things that they look at when they evaluate you? I mean, we know we of course took the we must have taken the highest ranking, certainly in terms of scenery. You most definitely had the best looking venue.
Absolutely. It's you can still see in all the pictures on all the Facebooks across the world, all the team, they've got these team pictures of themselves with Camsper in the background. So definitely, unfortunately, that happens. That's not one of the criteria. The criteria is organization. It's the quality of the field, how the field held up, the meals. The meals, for instance, is a big one. The accommodation. So I must say, Cape Town rose to the occasion. The people at the hotels, we occupied a total of 5 hotels. Everyone just jumped on board and helped us. So it's kudos to everyone in Cape Town that made us providing the best ever.
Anton, of course, from a Sport Federation TV point of view, our focus is, of course, on you guys as Western Cape Tug of War, the Western Cape Tug of War Federation, and the athletes that are now proudly wearing this Western Cape symbol. Are you getting the feeling that your athletes are aiming for this achievement, that they are hungry to wear the badge?
Yeah, no, most definitely. We've seen actually since 2018, we didn't have competitions last year, but definitely in 2019 and this year specifically, the level of competition has just lifted. We have much more ladies teams, so I can report that we've got an excellent growth spurt in the Western Cape specifically.
That's fantastic. It really is. Just, I mean, while we're at it, what is the kind of the average age for a child to start off with tug of war? What would you say is a good age to start?
Well, we of course start them off from preschool, but most of our kids that do really well, they start here around about grade 6, thereabouts, and then they are already at a very good position or level when they move into the high schools. And what we found now, they even get bursaries from high schools for tug of wars from the big schools like Drosday. That's excellent. We've also heard some of the schools, they actually appoint teachers that can train tug of war as well. So tug of war is slowly but surely making his level. But to come back around about grade 6, grade 7 is a good time. Then of course get a lot of rugby players that start at grade 8 only. We have tuggers as well that get introduced to the sport, and then they just sort of naturally take to the sport.
That's fantastic. Anton, I've got to ask you the question also before we go. We've got about another 2 minutes. When we look at a tug of war, we always see tug of war outside on a field and teams competing each other against each other on grass. But one of the popular sports on a global level is indoor tug of war. Is that something that you guys are doing or heading towards?
Yes, we are definitely. There's also been sort of in the world, it's been silent for a while, but the next indoor world championships is in March in the Netherlands, and we are of course gearing up for that as well. Within our sports, we have tuggers that specifically prefer the indoor discipline. So we focus that our indoor athletes participate in the indoor competition, and those that prefer the outdoor discipline, that they go for the outdoor. Otherwise, it would be costly to go to 2 world championships in 1 year.
Anton, we'll leave it at that. It's great catching up with you. Of course, we're looking forward to see the next batch of athletes that are going to wear the Western Cape colours. And and best of luck. And keep us posted. I mean, World Champs coming up. That's really a lot on your table at the moment to be dealing with.
Yes, quite a lot, I must say. We've got an incoming tour beginning of next year. We've got tours in May. We've got, especially 2022 is gearing up to be a hectic season. Everyone seems to be hungry for the sport. And we'll be sending teams to every possible competition in the world.
That's great stuff. Anton, we'll leave it at that. Stay safe and we'll catch up again soon.
Thank you. Great speaking to you.
There we go, folks. Anton Botha, the patron for Western Cape Tug of War. Wow, the athletes really are doing fantastic. Do yourself a favor, go and check out the Western Cape Tug of War.co.za website if you want to find out a little bit more about tug of war in the Western Cape. The schools are really doing well when it comes to tug of war. Our Western Cape teams across the various districts really doing fantastic, and great to see that as South Africa tug of war is really doing well. As he said, in 2018, the World Championships was here, and they've got another World Championships being hosted here back in the Western Cape. And so we're really proud of them, and they do such hard work behind the scenes. Right, folks, we're going to take an ad break. When we come back from the break, we carry on talking about sport in the province. Back in a sec.